yeah, that's what's going to be coming this summer, 2018 summer. Um, so keep an eye out for that. It's called the Hoot Nanny, and we're going to have the people who come every year, like Colin. Uh, he's called Bronco Ride. We're going to have Harley Trek. We're going to have Moose 3971. Probably going to have the Smyrna Cowboy. We're going to have Happy Jack. Marcellus. I can't remember what his YouTube name is, but it's going to be a fun group. We are always fun, and we don't care what you ride. If you ride a Honda, a Harley, Gixxer, we don't care what the hell it is. If you ride a Spider, we don't care.
How about a 50? Okay, hey, we're going to take about a 2-minute break, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Everybody, you're listening to Motorcycle Talk and our guest, Michael Jones. We'll be back in 2 minutes, a little bit more music to tie us over. In other words, I got to go take a pee.
Hey, Kev.
And we're back to Motorcycle Talk, and Kevin and Michael Jones and myself, Gary, are talking about snow days and snow. Thank God, up in where I live, we get very little snow. We get this time of year, we start getting the ice on the roads. And I do not like riding in the ice. Unfortunately, since I haven't had my bike for the last 3 months and I get my bike back next week, I'm going to be brave and I am going to ride. Yeah, I just hate to crash the bike again after getting it back. But, I did. Hey. Well, at least I got a new bat wing out of the deal. I got new exhaust on one side. I got a new front fender. I got a new saddle bag on the one side. I got $5,000 worth of new parts on one side. Hey, at least I got rid of the pits on the bat wing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Luckily for me, I haven't had to. Leg.
Oh,
with
when
the-
you broke it? Oh, no.
Yeah, 7 screws and a rod, and the rod's still in there.
Ugh,
But the bike was fine. The bike came up better than I did.
that's
But I never
That's
trusted
good.
that bike again, and I did ride it. I went through a period, and a lot of anybody who watches my videos know they would see I was really hemming and hawing. Should I ride? Should I not ride? And then fuck it, I'll ride. And I never really trusted that bike again until 2014. I was getting an oil change, and I saw this 2014 Ultra, and it was the first year of the Rushmore improvements. And I looked at this bike. The guy's like, "You want to take it out for a test ride?" I said, "Yeah." And that was all she wrote. I turned in that 2005 Road King. Turned that in. Had a 2014 Ultra. That was awesome. And then 2 years later, they come out with the improvements on the 2017s with the Milwaukee engine and the new suspension, and that just oh god, what a difference! So
Well, how's
ever
the
since then, I've been on the 17.
how's the new engine like doing? Like, I'm still stuck with my 2012 Electric Glide, and I'm loving it. It looks like a police bike, and I
Yeah.
never get pulled over or anything. But how's like the new engines running on the 2017s and the 18s?
The thing I noticed was, first off, it sounded like a Triumph. Like the stock engine had this kind of a weird whoosha 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 noise to it. It reminded me of the Suburban Rider's bike. He has a Triumph as well, and I think it's a Speed Triple. I think he's got. Anyway, it sounded like a Triumph, which is okay, and it almost sounded like a car the way it ran. But I noticed the power was immediately better than I had the 14, which was a 103 cubic inch, and the 107 had, of course, more power, and it sounded different, but it was still good. And I was won over. That suspension really just knocked me out of my socks. And then, you know how it is when you ride a motorcycle. You get to this addiction level with power.
Well, it's the adrenaline. It's the adrenaline
So
addiction.
you want to maximize what you got.
Exactly.
So every bike
The
I've
torque.
ever had, I always did a stage 1. Well, this one I said, screw this, I'm just going to go stage 4. So I did the stage 4. And the reason I did it was stock. And I was riding around having a great time for like a year. And then I got oil coming out of the air cleaner. And so I brought it in to get looked at. Like, what the hell was this oil coming out of my air cleaner thing? And they said it was the breather assembly. It was something weird. It was supposed to be sucking oil and it was blowing oil, whatever. So I said, you know what? I don't care. I want a stage 4 anyway. So just whatever you're going to do what you're going to do.
Nice.
And so I got a stage 4 upgrade. So now it's a 114. And it's got killer torque and killer top end. The new bikes, it takes some getting used to. Because on the twin cam bikes, all the way up to the 103, which is what I think you have, Kevin.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have a 103.
They really love best the low RPMs. When I say low RPMs, I mean like up to 3,500 RPMs. They really love the torquiness. I noticed with the Milwaukee 8s, they really perform best from 3,500 RPM up. They love being in the higher RPM range. And it took me a long time to get used to that. And now that I have, I let it go a lot more into the higher RPM range because the bike just likes to sit up in that area. And if I crank on that thing, I can go from 0 to 60 in like 3-4 seconds. It's pretty damned impressive for a big fat-ass bike with a big fat-ass middle-aged man sitting on it.
Well, especially for a cruiser, too. I mean, not many people would expect a cruiser to just go, you know.
Yeah. Exactly, and I know that I would never even try to win a off the line battle with a Gixxer or a CBR, even a 600, because that's not what my bike's built for. But I know that if I need to get from 0 to 60 in a hurry because of, an on-ramp or whatever, I know that I can do it. I don't have to worry. And that's the only reason I really have that. And or if I'm in the twisty and you hit the apex of the curve and you want to throttle out of that curve, I know that I have the power to get out of that curve very well.
Yeah, because you have the
There's no
torque.
question.
Because you have the
Yeah.
torque and you have all the power to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm sure that there are other brands of motorcycle who can do that equally well, if not even better. But what the Harley provides for me is the look, the feel, the sound, the quality, and the performance. That it's just all of them are wonderful. I've never had the only problem I've ever had with the Harley is the breather assembly on the Milwaukee 8 was faulty. The only and I had a 2003 Softail Standard, never had a mechanical problem with that. At a 2005 Road King Classic, never had a mechanical problem with that. At a 2014 Ultra, never had a problem with that. The Milwaukee 8, which is the very first year they made that, 2017, that's the only time I ever had a mechanical problem, and that was the breather assembly was faulty. But since they replaced it, since I had the Stage 4 upgrade, no problems at all with that bike. So
Well,
I don't know what people are talking about when they say they leak and they break down. I've never had a problem.
Well, it was a brand new engine. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
I
a
was an early
108.
adopter.
They
Yeah.
completely upgraded it from the 103. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of defects and a little bit of defaults when they first come out. But
and
then
people would say, "Oh, you're stupid because of that." But I'll tell you what, in
they're good on the
2014
warranties.
Now,
Yeah.
the
Go ahead.
question I have too is between your 14 you had and your new bike, the suspension. How much have you noticed the difference between the suspension on the two bikes?
Oh, it's a completely new world now. I mean, it's on the 14. When I would go into a twisty, into a corner, you felt kind of wobbly as you're in the corner, as you're in the curve, and it didn't feel quite as sure-footed. And then when I got on the 17, I went into the same twisty corners that I would go into, and it felt like it was planted on the road. And it felt like the bottom end of the bike was able to lean deeper in than it used to. And it was confidence inspiring. So when I would lean into a corner and throttle on, and the bike just felt planted, like it was rooted to the ground, I said, "Oh yeah, we have upped the game."
Oh,
And
wow.
I think it has a greater lean angle now, and I was able to attack the twisties on the 17 way better than I ever could on the 14 or the 2005 Road King. It was just. I'll give you an example. I went through the Tail of the Dragon in 2009 on my 2005 Road King Classic. It took me like 20 minutes to get through that. And when I did it on my 17 Ultra Classic Limited, I was able to do that in 15 minutes, 12 seconds.
That's a big
That was-
difference.
Yeah, I mean, 11 miles and 318 sharp curves in 15 minutes, 12 seconds on a big old fat bike, with a
That's
big fat guy
crazy.
on it. And I kicked its ass. It was awesome. And I looked behind me because Moose 3971 was behind me when we first started out from the this hotel, the Tail of the Dragon Hotel, I guess it's called, right at the beginning of the Dragon, and in North Carolina. And we all stood out, me and Mark and Jay all stood up together. It was Jay behind me and Mark behind Jay, and he was on the trophy. Now that Triumph Trophy can lean over way better than my bike can. I get on this twisty and I just start throttling through this with my Stage 4 on my Ultra Limited, and I look behind me, he's gone. And I'm on the microphone with him. I get the Cena 10C, and I can't hear anything but crackling. I lost him. And then when I got to the end of the Dragon, I pulled over at the overlook, and I had to wait 2 or 3 minutes for him to catch up to me.
Oh, wow.
So that tells you right there, the performance on this bike is a quantum leap above what it was before.
You know, that's what gets me too. All the people who say that Harley is behind times. I